Morning everybody, this is the video I meant to record yesterday, but I had to do the rant post instead. But anyway, I'm here now, and today I'm wearing green. The reason I'm wearing green is because I'm going to be talking about improving your people, succession planning, and a poll that I did last week where the results were really interesting. So I'm going to talk about why those results, why the majority of you, I think, were wrong, and I'll tell you a story as to why. But before I do, let's talk about the colours. So we've got the 3 green behaviours: thinking, communicating and improving. Have those in your diary in the right proportion and you'll take yourself, your people and your business upwards, make things better. Then there's the amber behaviours: monitoring and directing, just 2 of those. Those are the things that will manage risk and they'll stop things from going backwards. Then there's red, doing, and brown, floating. Those are the things that if you have those in your diary too much, will take your people, your organisation and you backwards, make things worse. And then there's one more, blue. And blue is living. That's looking after your physical, mental and spiritual well-being. And that's where you get your recharge. So I did a poll last week, and the poll was actually based on real life. And when I do polls, they are for research for these videos. They're not clickbait. You won't be contacted for them. So it'd be really great if you could interact with them when you see them. So this poll asked a question, and the question was, if one of your people who you saw management potential in, if you asked them if they wanted to step up and they said, no, I'm not interested in becoming a manager, should you back off? That was the question. And I gave you 3 options: yes, no, or other. Please comment. So 60% of you said, yes, you should back off. 20% said, no, don't back off. And 1 said other, but they didn't comment. Please comment. I'm really interested to hear the results. So here's the thing. The answer for me, I think, is no. You shouldn't back off. And the reason I know that is because it happened. I was the manager. I was the person who saw management potentially one of my people, and they said they weren't interested in being a manager. And I simply wasn't prepared to back off. But this isn't a hard play. This isn't necessary to do this. All I wanted to do was understand why. And the question that I asked them in that moment was, why not? What is it? Why wouldn't you want to be a manager? And what they said was really enlightening. They basically said, well, why would I? At the end of the day, management seems to be all about cancelling people's holiday, stopping them from going on the training they're supposed to be going, cancelling that at the last moment, making them work silly hours and getting them to commit to unrealistic deadlines that they just can't achieve. Okay. I mean, when you put it like that, I don't think I'd want to be a manager after that. But the point was, in the past, they'd been managed by managers who use that as their primary modus operandi. That's how the managers that they had worked for had worked. And of course, this is what happens. We tend to pick up a lot of our habits from the managers that we've been managed by in the past. And the thing is, they can actually bring some of the really bad habits to them. So, of course, that wasn't the way that I managed, and that wasn't what I wanted them to do. Morning.
Morning.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to explain to them, well, that's not how I see management. I really don't. And I totally understand that's what you've experienced so far, but that's not what's going to be happening. And of course, the context of this is I'd just come in to manage this team. I've been there for about a month. I've been observing, and I'd seen this person and thought they're great. Their temperament's fantastic. Their abilities are fantastic. And people really respected them. They reacted to them. And it's like, you are ideal to succeed me when I move on. So I said, well, look, that's not what this is about. Okay, that's not what I want management to be. And you'll notice over the next 6 months while I'm managing you, that that's not how things are going to happen. So I want you to do me a favor. I said, I just want you to give me a chance and show you that that's not how this needs to be done. Can you at least do that and reserve judgment? And they said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And so what then happened over the next 6 months is I showed them that was what was happening. And I didn't push it again. But what I did do after those 6 months, once I proved to them, because then they're kind of open to listening, what I decided to do was I decided to start to introduce them to some of the tasks that I do. I delegated them out to them to get them to do them with my supervision. And of course, they could do them easily because they were perfectly placed to do it. And about a year later, I got a big knock on the door. I was running a team of about 15 people between London and Frankfurt. And I got the knock on the door. And the knock on the door was to run a division of 350. And that was quite a big jump. And I really wanted to take the role. I thought it would be a really great opportunity. And I thought I could do some really great things in the role. But at that moment, what this person hadn't realized is that I'd been preparing them for this moment. Not overtly, not covertly, I'd been gently introducing them to all of the tasks. And on the moment that I had to relinquish my position and take on the new one, I basically had a really good conversation with them and said, I think you're now ready to take over. You know, you've been doing it. I've been allowing you to do certain parts of it for quite a while now. And they didn't realize it. And of course, I was able to step away and they just stepped into the role as if nothing had happened. Okay, so this is why I don't think you necessarily need to back off with your people. The first thing you need to do if they were to say that is find out why. Yeah, have a conversation, because often people will say they don't want something, but the reason they don't want it is because they have a different perspective in their mind of what you're talking about. I spoke about it yesterday in my video actually about asking a question up front that can find out with clarity what you're really talking about. In that particular instance, that's exactly what I did. And they realized that they did want to be a manager. They just didn't want to be the manager they'd used to be managed by. So improving is green behavior. Improving is succession planning, preparing your people to take over. It works because in the moment that I had to step away, I had no concerns because I handed over to somebody who'd been trained by me and I knew who could do the job. So don't necessarily take everything your people say to heart, okay? Ask a few questions first. That's it for now. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.